Hi, I'm Chris McCoy. Welcome to the Memphis Flyer Podcast. Every week we jump on here to tell you what we're talking about, what we're writing about, what we're tracking in the city. And today I have a very special guest. This is Mr. Brantley Ellzey, one of the best artists in our city. He currently has a big show up at Crosstown Arts. Been there
It opened on October 10th.
Wow. Oh, so when are you closing?
Closing on January 25th, which is a Sunday.
Right. And you having a party?
Maybe. I'm having an artist talk, though, this Sunday, January 17th at 1 o'clock, where I'll be walking people through the show and talking about my process, the themes of the show, those sorts of things.
Well, this is the subject of our cover story this week. What's the name of the show?
It's called Reflection, Ritual Refuge.
And Abigail Morici, who you've seen on the show before, she wrote this. And Abigail's leaving us. She's going to New Orleans. She's back. She's from New Orleans originally, and she got a good job down there. And we're going to miss Abigail so much because she's done so many good things for us and so many good things for you, for Memphis. She writes the 5 things for Memphis Magazine every week, which is by far the most popular thing on the Memphis Magazine website. And we're going to miss you so much, Abigail. And this story that she wrote is amazing, amazing. For one thing, she had a really good interview subject, which is the advantage that I personally have on this podcast right now.
She was great. It was a pleasure speaking with her.
Isn't
I'm
she
sorry
so
that
awesome?
she's moving. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to, the city, we need people like her.
We do.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you're from Arkansas originally,
I
right?
am. I'm from Osceola, Arkansas. It's about 50 miles upriver.
Mm-hmm.
I really consider Memphis my home, though, because we would come to Memphis to go to doctor's appointments and to shop and things like that. So I've always had a relationship with Memphis and feel very close to the city.
Yeah, and you're a longtime Midtowner.
Longtime Midtowner. I've been in the same house on Overton Park Avenue for, goodness gracious, over 30 years.
Oh, yeah, and it's such a good house.
Thank you. Dear old Elfro.
Elfro.
That's what we call it. Yeah, we've really enjoyed. We love Evergreen. We love being close to the park and Midtown. Yeah.
So you are an architect.
Yes, that's what I studied in college. Went down to New Orleans, went to Tulane, and studied architecture. And I also studied theater. So I had those 2 subjects in play in my education. And that's carried me through my career, really, because I've always admired polymaths, people that can do more than one thing. And I think that's one of the great things about Memphis. It affords us the opportunity to work on a lot of different things at the same time.
Yeah. Opportunity is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
It creates the necessity of working on a lot of things at the same time.
That's true. But yeah, the first half of my career really was in architecture. I worked at Williamson Pounders Architects and did the renovation of First Congregationals, probably a project that people would recognize.
We just shot back in December. LJ, my wife and I just shot the Acoustic Sunday Live, in that space, which was like that's the most people I've ever seen in that space.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
It was completely packed. They said I think their ticket sales were up like 20 or 30% from last year. Anyways, it was like packed, but the space is so beautiful.
Thank you. It's really one of the things I'm most proud of that I've done, and I just love the fact that congregation is so dynamic and uses the space. And when it was the Baptist church, it had a sloped floor, so the acoustics were something we really considered when we were putting in the flat wood floor that's there now and has the labyrinth set in it.
Oh, I love it. The floor is so beautiful.
And I'm so pleased that I've heard from a number of people that the acoustics are really, really great.
We couldn't think of a better place to have that show.
That's great.
But so your practice, the art practice that led to this exhibit, is a little weird.
It is a little weird, yes. The origin story of the rolled paper, which is the primary focus of my practice. When I was working as an architect, I did a lot of churches in the firm that I was working for. And that included church furnishings, communion tables, lecterns, things like that. And it got me really interested in furniture design. And I started doing some sketches of my own pieces and began to think about rolled paper as sort of a marquetry. When I was growing up in Osceola, there was a woman that did crafts out of rolled paper. And for some reason, it really stuck in my mind because as a kid, I thought it was so colorful and I loved the texture and the way the light played on the surface of the rolled paper. So that's how I began to think about rolled paper. I was asked to be in an art show where the theme was shelter. And I thought I can do a drawing of a house or a plan. And I thought, I'm going to revisit the rolled paper. And I realized that when I was rolling the paper, I was archiving all the information. So it fascinated me that you could create something out of this medium that also had an underlying meaning. All of this information is sort of like a mainframe in a picture. And that was the launch pad for what I do now. So I work with very specific text that informs the theme of the piece that I'm working on. So if you commission me to do a piece, you would give me the paper that informs your life, filmmaking and everything you do, music, and then I would make a piece with you. So that's where the architecture training comes in. On commissions, it's more like a collaboration. And we wind up with a piece that you're invested in because of the material and also because of the process.
Well, and look, the show is really great.
Thank you.
But one thing and there's a lot of different kinds of pieces, a lot of different kinds of starting from the same basic medium, the rolled up paper. You do so many different things with it. I mean, there's an entire obviously from your architecture training, there are like little houses.
Yeah. Well, it was really a unique opportunity, this show, to have the entire space at Crosstown. It's about 6,000 square feet.
And that's pretty rare. Usually they'll have like
rare.
two artists.
Two or three.
Yeah.
So when we started talking about the show, I immediately said, yes, I'd love to do it. And then I was immediately terrified because it is a very big space. But I realized, this gives me such a unique opportunity to explore other aspects of my practice. I'm known primarily for the rolled paper, but it's not all that I do. So I began to think about how are all of these things going to relate? And that's where the themes came from. Reflection, ritual, refuge. Reflection in the sense of we're living in, I think, a time of a lot of stress for people, a lot of anxiety, both politically, which is something we're all thinking about, and then with technology. So I wanted to reflect on that. And I realized that one of the ways I handle situations like this is to think about the past. So a lot of the rolled paper pieces are about the past. Ways I found comfort, people where I found support. But the rest of the exhibit is also about reflection, reflecting on my career. How can I share this with people? The ritual came from, obviously, the ritual of rolling papers, a very obvious part of that. But I also realized that my life is fairly ritualistic in many ways. I'm a list maker. I like to be organized. So that became a thread that runs through the show with, there are about, 130 rolled paper pieces. There are about 500 photographs. There are sculptures. There are social media exercises, the Loveless 2020, which I did during the pandemic. There's a wonderful film that I made with Laura Jean Hocking, with you, and with Alex Green. And that was really one of the most special experiences about working on it.
It was a lot of fun. I shot it, and then LJ edited it, and you were the director.
Oh, I learned so much. I've always loved being in theater. I've always loved film and entertainment, live theater. So being able to kind of shape something with you guys, that's my own, exercise, I would say, example of that media was really good. And I do have to include, I have a billboard in the show.
Oh, yes.
Which is a little bit of an odd thing. My current studio is at the corner of Summer and Baltic. And your people watching may know it. It has a big billboard in front of it that says, "Have a nice day," with a big smiley face painted on it. And I wanted to renovate the billboard. I love that billboard, by the way. I would keep the contents and place it somewhere else at the studio, but I wanted to illuminate it You know, my corner is a little bit challenging as far as, crime and things like that. And I felt like if we could illuminate the billboard, it would provide a big pool of light at night and help with safety. And I won't go into too much detail about it. Let's just say it honors what I consider to be one of the icons of Memphis, and that is the Corey B. Trott's billboard.
Yeah. Yes.
They're everywhere.
I know people who used to make his TV commercials.
Oh, wow. Well, it's sort of an appropriation. I thought, what would happen if an artist had a billboard, in the same way that would kind of turn
injured,
that.
need some art.
Right. Exactly.
One of the pieces that really stuck with me from the show is you deconstructed, I think it's a 1963 World Book.
1962.
1962, yeah.
The year I was born.
That really stuck with me because when I grew up with my grandparents and my mom, and they had a 1960 World Book, complete set of World Book. And then they would get there would be supplements every year that would be like, the
yearbooks.
The yearbooks, right? And when I was in kindergarten, when I first started reading on my own, I read the whole World Book Encyclopedia.
What a prodigy.
I was 5 and 6. I did.
Yeah.
But because I grew up in the country and I didn't have anything else to do. But I did. And people were like, "Did you understand all the words?" And I was like, "No, but that's how you learn."
Sure. And there are a lot of pictures. That's one thing about it is the entire 20-volume set of the World Book.
Yeah.
And a lot of times with the rolled paper, I'll combine it with 2D images if there are photographs in the document. And so the encyclopedias are a combination of the rolled paper and the 2D images.
And those images and just something about, and you do, and you should, everybody should go see the show, but
please,
it's not just rolled paper. You take some of the images and some of the stuff and you deconstruct it and reconstruct
recontextualize
it. And those particularly really resonated with me because it was I looked at that and I instantly was I recognized the layout, I recognized their style and everything, and it just really resonated with me. The story that I always tell though is I get to when I was doing that, I was engrossed in the World Book when I was 6 years old, and I went to my mom. I was I ran to my mom. I was like, Mom, one day we're gonna land on the moon, and she, because it was a 1960 World Book, and she was like, yeah, we already did that, and I was like, this is the story of my entire life right there.
Well, when I'm working with something like that, or if I'm working with vintage media, contemporary media too. Contemporary media. See what I did there?
Wouldn't be the first time that contemporary media products have been used in the production of art.
I've made several things out of Memphis Magazine. I've made probably 3 pieces out of it. But the process of rolling and this kind of meditation, this ritual of rolling, I am looking at the pages and I'm taking in the information. It's helping me really think about the piece and what I'm working on. And what's been great about the encyclopedias is that, art can be a very solitary pursuit, but so many people remember those pictures and they're so engaged with looking at it. Well, people our age, especially, they're so engaged with looking at it and bringing back this memory. It was our internet.
Yeah.
On a Sunday night when you had a report due, I've got to grab the World Book and, figure this out. The library's closed. So what do I do? And another thing about the encyclopedias that I'd like to point out is the pieces in that part of the show are dedicated to individuals because it is sort of a nostalgic, not a nostalgia for that world, because I'm clear-eyed enough to know that I don't long to go back to the past.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people.
People who long to go back to the past weren't alive in the past.
Trust me, it was not better. It was not better. But what I take from the nostalgia is comfort in knowing I have been through other times of turmoil. And there have been people that have, along the way, who have mentored me or helped me. So pieces are dedicated to my 4th grade school teacher one, who was very, very influential on my young life, my piano teacher. In the case of the encyclopedias, we had a neighbor, a very old and dear family friend, who was also an English teacher. And she sold the world books. Mm-hmm. So as I was working on it, I was thinking about her and all of these wonderful memories, and her being an educator and really kind of teaching me, not only in class, but also being her neighbor, pointing out different things to me, magazines and such. And I was very lucky because her nephew is my closest and dearest friend. We grew up together. And her niece actually married my brother at one point. That's how intertwined the families were. Anyway, both of them were able to come to the opening of the show.
Oh, that's great.
And they were very, very moved by the tribute to their Aunt Martha. So
there's another piece. And like I said, there's a
lot.
There's a lot.
But
there's another piece that really, really stood out to me, which I feel like also showed how you use this medium, it was the one with the like skirt-like forms.
Mm-hmm.
And this piece is huge. It's like wall-sized. But what really struck me there is, like, I remember the first time I saw a Renoir like in person. Oh my like you can see the reproductions of that stuff, but like when you see it in person, those colors dance. They do something to your eyes. They do something to the way you perceive color, and it looks like there's motion, like they're dancing. And you achieve that. You achieve that Renoir effect with the skirts.
That's an incredible.
I said it to you I said it to you opening night, but you were.
It was a mop scene.
It was a mop scene.
Well, the scale of that. That's another thing about this show. It was such a privilege to work on that scale, and it was about 1.5 year process of conceiving the show and kind of figuring how everything was going to work together. And I visited the site frequently and really wanted to capture that scale of those galleries with pieces like the skirt piece. I also, in that piece, I used Mylar for the first time, which it has a certain reflectivity. Mm-hmm. Thematically, that piece is dedicated to two very dear cousins of mine. It's made out of Vogue magazine. And it's really about, I was a very odd kid for Osceola, Arkansas.
No, Brantley?
You can imagine. I mean, again, that's why I kind of look back on these people that were so nurturing to me, because I must have been a very strange little kid. But I grew up in a house of boys, brothers, and it was a very, very sort of, all boys. So there was I was the youngest. So there was a lot of punching, and I had these two female cousins that lived very close to me. I could walk to their house. And, I was a little sissy. That's what the piece is called. I was a little sensitive, but I would go to their house and it was the opposite of my house. It was all this feminine energy, and they adored me and kind of enjoyed being around me rather than seeing me as a punching bag. So I wanted that piece to kind of communicate the joy of being that kind of a kid, because I think my generation of gay people, we grew up sort of being ashamed of any kind of gender nonconformity. Yeah. Any kind of dancing, any of those things we were taught very early on to suppress and not express those things. And so this piece for me is about letting people know there's something really great about being a weird little kid.
Yeah.
And if you've got a weird little kid, you need to just let them be their weird self and support them. And I recently saw a video online. It's a little boy who loves to twirl the baton. Mm-hmm. And his parents have really supported him, and he has costumes and batons and all this. And they're always posting, don't leave negative comments or don't make fun of him. And I think, wow, that's still there to a degree.
It's not as bad as it used to be, but it's still there.
Right.
So I wrote about Stranger Things, the Stranger Things finale. Did you watch Stranger Things?
I started it. I've got to go back to.
So in the last season, Will Byers, one of the characters, like comes out as gay to everybody, and I was like, and Stranger Things has been fairly good about living in the 80s, like, okay, because one thing that I also mentioned in the piece is when people think about the 80s, they are like, oh, it all looked like Miami Vice. It was all Memphis Milano group, like blobby furniture and stuff. But living in the 80s was not like that at all. Everything was brown.
Everything was brown.
Everything was brown.
A holdover from the 70s, yeah.
Yeah, and if it wasn't brown, by the time it got all the nicotine stains on it, it became brown.
Exactly.
And they get that, you know. But so Will Byers comes out in this as gay in this, and he's, I guess, 18 or whatever at the time. And like everybody goes, oh, that's great. And they just move on. And I was like, no, that's not how it would have been in the 80s.
That's not how it would have been.
Even if you did it to your friends, some of your friends would have turned on you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And your friends, while they knew, one of the things that we miss out on is we were really dumb about what gay people were. Even as a guy, I had no clue. Yeah. And there weren't a lot of resources. I think I saw a Time magazine cover with two leather men in San Francisco. And I thought...
Which is pretty atypical in the big picture.
Well, especially then. That was a very, very tiny subgroup. And I thought, well, I'm not like them. But there are some pieces in the show that actually explore kind of my coming of age and sort of figuring out those things. And for guys my age... right when we felt good about who we were and we're ready to get out in the world, of course, the AIDS epidemic happened.
Yeah.
Which, again, reshaped, and that's a distant memory for a lot of people now. But that sort of, we were kind of making progress, and then that came along, progress on gay rights. Mm-hmm. That came along, and then it reinforced
a lot of these
negative stereotypes, right?
Yeah.
And, but yeah, you're right. It's funny. It's like when people think about the 70s and it's all disco. I'm like, I assure you
it was not all disco.
It was not all disco. No.
It's because the good stuff survives.
Right.
And it's like, everybody, when people talk about antiques and they're like, oh man, they made stuff so much better back in the day. No, they didn't. All the crappy stuff just broke already.
That's right.
This is survivor's bias. It's what you got.
Exactly. That's funny.
Well, Brantley, I could talk all day. We frequently do. But
right,
occasionally do, but we could talk all day. But so you're having Artist Talk this Sunday.
Artist Talk this Sunday, and before we leave, I know we've talked a lot about the rolled paper.
Yeah,
but I also really want to make sure that people know that the show has a lot of other components.
Oh gosh, the photography.
I kind of rattled through a list.
Yeah,
but, the one of the photographic exercises is called Things I Find at My Studio, where I started picking up trash on my corner at Baltic and Summer and realized that people were leaving these eccentric things. So I began photographing them. If you follow me on Facebook. Because I really think they tell a story of a pre-gentrified neighborhood. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure that you will find these same objects. And I love my neighborhood. I love Summer and Baltic. I'm very friendly with the people. They come up and ask me, why are you photographing that garbage? And when I tell them, they're very excited about it. And, it's been a positive thing. The love list I mentioned, which was a challenge to myself to write about something positive every day, which...
It gets hard.
You're a professional journalist. I am not. That was a very difficult challenge.
It's hard. The hardest thing about being a journalist is not the writing. It is the finding things to write about.
Yep.
That's it.
The film we mentioned, the installation in the atrium where I was able to work on a different scale. So it's still formally very similar to the
ones in the
paper.
atrium are like bigger rolls.
They are.
And there's a lot of Mylar
They're
in there.
Mylar.
Which I thought was really great. You can see yourself in it's sort of funhouse mirror-y, but that really doesn't even do it justice.
Well, it plays into the theme of reflection in a very obvious way.
Yeah.
And it distorts the reflection. So it takes you into a different reality, which the third word of the theme is refuge. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to communicate that for me, my work, my life in Memphis, the show is dedicated to my husband, Jim Renfro. Shout out to Jim, who helped me enormously with the show. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to create a place of refuge. My work is a refuge for me, my studio, the things I do. But I want people to come and feel a refuge from the outside world. Mm-hmm. And I really feel like there's something for everyone. Mm-hmm. And There is a lot of humor in it. I tend to be a little tongue-in-cheek about things. But then there are some important things. We didn't mention the 2025 project. So the rolled paper is an all nostalgia. I did an entire gallery that's made out of targets. And it's a commentary on Project 2025. And in my mind, it's a philosophy that's being used to target a lot of various groups. The piece was conceived as gay marriage being targeted and the trans community. But obviously that theme has expanded to
everybody.
Who knows where it will end. There's also a piece in the Special Projects Gallery, which is where the photography and everything is, that is a direct commentary on what I think about Trump.
Yeah.
And it's made out of 2 trash cans, if it gives you a hint. And that is actually the only piece that we've had to worry about people bothering, because it has been disturbed a few times. And we've had to put tape around it, a do not touch sign. And finally, we've put stanchions around it, which, quite frankly, I think enhances the piece. I wish I had thought of it in the beginning.
In the beginning.
Yeah. But I guess I just want to end it by saying, Brantley, he's more than rolled paper.
Well, yeah, we don't want to focus on that because honestly, the there's nostalgia in it, but that's not the emotion that I got.
Oh, good.
Out of it. That's not primary. That's not where I was. That's not where I was coming from. That's not primarily what I feel. I mean, it's there, but that's not what this is about.
I consider myself to be a modern, forward-thinking person. I try to be optimistic. There is a piece where I call Diary, where I've documented my entire life with rolled paper.
Yeah.
And it's 76 panels. It takes up an entire wall.
It is very moving.
I have 63 of the panels filled so far, or 62, because my year actually begins on April 1st, my birthday. So if you're looking at the piece, the years go from April 1st to March 31st. And yes, the rolled paper is arranged in order by date. All the
So are you doing one every day?
stamped.
Are you doing one and throwing a new one in the every day?
I will have another edition on March 31st. And I'm lucky because my father, shout out to Bill Ellzey, is 103.
Wow.
And still in excellent health. Still, I talk to him on the phone. He's my dad. And so I feel hopefully that I'll add a few extra panels to that piece, more than the 76. And I have a great thing about this show is that it's excited and inspired me. And I've been creating a whole list of other work that I want to do. There's a book project. I would love to do another film with you guys, because that was just an amazing experience. So
we got a really cool shot looking up through glass while he rolls, and that was his idea. Yeah,
thank you. But I do, even at my age, and I want to send this message, a lot of times we get obsessed with youth and aging, and I really feel like a lot of my creative work is only just beginning at the age I am now. So.
Well, that seems like a good stopping point, Brantley. Thank you so
much.
Thank
you very much, Chris. I appreciate it.
Come to the Artist Talk this weekend.
Please.
How long is it going to be up?
It will be up through January 25th, which is a Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah. So the talk is on the 17th. It's this Saturday.
Right. Yeah. So you got a couple weeks left, but you're going to want to see the show because it's been the social event of the season.
Oh, yes.
It's been the Memphis Flyer podcast. We will see you next week.